Welcome to the Wellness League podcast, Try Me series. My name is Ella.
And I'm Amanda from TriFit.
Throughout this series, we'll be covering everything in the sport of triathlon, starting from your first race.
Right up to competing in sprint, standard distance, 70.3 and full Ironman, giving you the best tips from our experiences in the sport.
We'll be covering the basics of equipment that you need to start and also the best places to train and your first race. So Amanda, how did you start training?
Well, I was already running when I started triathlon, so that part just continued. I then joined a cycling group, and was just cycling with them. I don't think I started swimming training for quite some time. Just left that. I could swim, so it was just my swim training was the race that I would do. I joined up with a local club, and we used to race every Saturday. So that was my one swim of the week, and it was a 500-metre swim, and that was pretty much my total summer swim training. But after doing a few, then I decided I wanted to take it a bit more seriously, and I entered my first big race, which was Noosa, probably the biggest one in terms of competitors around the world, and I got a coach for that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started with Triathlon South Australia, like I spoke in the last episode. It was an 8-week course. So after I completed the 8-week course, I continued swimming by myself. I think I was doing 1 or 2 sessions a week. I was doing 3 to 4 spin classes a week because I was loving them anyway. And if I was doing 3, I was trying to get 1 on the road. But most of the road rides were by myself. And then the run, I actually didn't run train for years. I hated running. But the distances I was training for at the time were nothing more than a 5K. So I thought if I had an adrenaline rush from the bike, I could just keep going.
You can make 5K.
But it definitely has changed since. But for your first race, what was in your training bag?
Not much. Not much compared to what's in the training bag now. So obviously I had a swim cap. I have long hair, so even regardless of wearing the swim cap for safety, I needed to keep my hair out of my eyes. So I had a swim cap and goggles. And then I wore a tri-suit. So I did buy a really cheap tri-suit to start with. Didn't really know what I wanted. This is not my first one, but I have gone through a few. But I had a tri-suit. And then on the bike, I had a helmet. Obviously, the same bike helmet that I use all the time. You need a helmet, so it was just the same one. Nice. And then on the run, actually, I had my sunglasses and also runners.
Nice.
And you'll notice that there's laces in these runners, and that's pretty much what I did.
Perfect.
To start with, I do not race with laces in my shoes anymore.
No, either do I. Have the quick fix ones, which I don't currently have in my shoes either.
Maybe we'll go through that in the equipment episode.
Exactly. We'll go into deeper equipment that we use now to train for each discipline, but this is just what we use for our first one. So mine, I actually have one of my original swim race caps. I actually had flat pedals on my bike until I bought a road bike. Then I went to clip in. Obviously my goggles, which I race in and swim in all the time. My race belt. I actually still have a race number on there for my last race. So always good for a race belt. My tri-suit, I'm still racing in the same one. So it's just a 2XU standard tri-suit. My running shoes, obviously I ran this morning, so they're a bit dirty. But I've been in many running shoes. My racing helmet. And also, top tip, get a squeezy drink bottle so that you have it on the bike and you can just squeeze it in. I raced my first on a mountain bike that I bought from 99 Bikes for about $300 because I just couldn't get my head around the drop bars on a road bike. And I soon realised straight after that race that was a very bad idea. I sold that bike and bought a road bike.
Nice. And the other good thing about, if we're talking about being fast and changing from a mountain bike to a road bike, you get a good PB. The other good thing is if you go in flat pedals like you had and like I raced in my first triathlon.
You don't have to change shoes.
You don't change shoes. So you just ride and run in the same shoes.
That was probably one of the best
transitions. And we will talk more about transitions in another episode as well.
So good. Big news time. We have a big brand new sponsor for the Wellness League podcast. So, can you guess who it is?
Hi, I'm Lana from Live and Breathe Active, or LAB, a small family-run business run by a group of passionate people that, well, we live and breathe this shit. Whether it's run, swim, cycle, or try, we make gear to get you through those tough training sessions. We help you get up before sunrise, and we will still be there with you well after sunset. You will see us before you hear us with bespoke prints designed by artists just for you. We are driven by our values and are focused on performance and community. And we are super proud to be partnering with the Wellness League podcast in the Try series. Find out more or shop online at liveandbreatheactive.com. We can't wait to have you as part of the crew.
How good is that, hey? Discount codes and the link will be in the bio. But you know what? Let's go back to the pod. And so in the longer races, we'll talk about the equipment more, but what's a couple of other things that you would use?
Some of the other things that I would use, like we said, the laces, elastic laces in your shoes, so it's a bit faster on the transition.
Obviously, clip-in
shoes. Yep. Definitely clip-in shoes. What I do with the longer race on a bike, I actually wear cycling shoes, not triathlon shoes.
Okay.
So there is a difference between cycling shoes. So listen out for another episode where we'll go into that a little bit more. And the other thing that is a wetsuit. In the longer distances, chances are you'll be wearing a wetsuit for most races.
I haven't raced in the wetsuit yet, but that's because every time I've raced, it's either been too warm and they've cancelled them anyway, or I haven't done a long enough distance. Right. But I do like the cold water as it is, so it's been fine. But other than that, thanks for listening to this Try Me series. This will be out on Spotify as a video, YouTube also as a video, and Apple Podcasts. In the meantime, go and follow us on the socials. It is the Wellness League Pod. That is on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and discovering_ET is my Instagram. And what is yours?
My YouTube is TriFit with Tim and Amanda, and my Instagram is tryfit.tim.amanda.
Perfect. See you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.